All right, Chris, you're a big reason for our tweet of the night tonight, the 33rd team. We heard you talking about it today on the radio. The power rankings of all the head coaches by the 33rd team. And you can see Tomlin's in at 3. You got Andy Reid 1, Bill Belichick 2. I have some issues with some of these rankings. I think Tomlin's should be definitely in the top 10. There's no question about it. I know we could go back to he hasn't won in the postseason in a long time, but I mean, he wins all the time during the regular season. I feel like he definitely deserves to be in the top 10, if not the top 5. What are your problems with this ranking right here?
Well, first off, it completely hijacked the show when I brought it up to Pony. It was cats like catnip, so it was reverse of catnip. He couldn't put it away, but he was infuriated by it because, as we know, Pony is a vocal Mike Tomlin critic.
Yes.
In fact, he put out his own top 10 list that dropped Mike Tomlin out for the first time ever and is just getting absolutely – who would you like to go with here? Daryl Dawkins, the late, great Chocolate Thunder. People are dunking on him harder than Daryl Dawkins was going in the 80s or whatever for his list. Ross Tucker made that list. Ross Tucker's a Princeton guy. Ross Tucker's been on our show. I like Ross Tucker over at the 33rd team. But I couldn't tell if some of his rankings, like if the rubric was, what have you done for me lately? Lifetime Achievement Award, like it's Susan Lucci up there for all my children. So if it's Lifetime Achievement and it's what have you done for me lately, Andy Reid should be number 1. And I think Andy Reid is the best coach going. And I think Andy Reid could add a lot more to hardware to his mantle depending on how long he wants to stick around. Tomlin's not number 3. Belichick actually isn't number 2.
I agree with that.
You know who's getting majorly disrespected here? Because we never separate the quarterback from the coach, right? Like, we found out that Brady made Belichick more than the opposite. Why is Zach Taylor number 12 on that list?
I was looking at that.
I know everybody thinks like Zach Taylor's just some guy and he doesn't do that much and Joe Burrow does all the work and Lou Anarumo is the great defensive coordinator who can actually slow Mahomes a little, but there's value in hiring good people around you and just kind of getting out of the way. Taylor's been in 2 straight AFC title games and one of the last 2 Super Bowls. He deserves to be in that top 3. I think Tomlin's a little too high. I'd put him around in that 8 to 9 kind of spot. I mean, it's clear that he still wins. He still finds a way to get teams over 500. There's value in that, I think, more for former players and for coaches, people within the game than people outside of it. But he still hasn't won a playoff game since 2016, since that season. So that's kind of glaring. Zach Taylor, though. Taylor's the big one for me. He is way too low. Isn't Sean McDermott 22 on
and
that
that's
list?
what I was going to pick out Sean McDermott, too. Zach Taylor's the one I picked out. Also, Harbaugh should be higher than Daboll. What's Daboll doing at 8? What has he done other than 1 year?
I thought Daboll was the coach of the year last year. I thought he did some wondrous things.
But does he deserve to be in the top 10?
Harbaugh still should be higher.
For 1 year.
I mean, I think they're kind of giving him credit for offensive coordinator work there and saying we kind of like this guy's trajectory. But I see what you're saying. McDermott being 22 is pretty ridiculous, and I am a harsh critic of his because I think his butchery at the end of that Chiefs game with those 13 seconds cost them a likely Super Bowl win. But are you kidding me? There's 21 coaches better than Sean McDermott? No, there are not.
All right, let's go out to the phone lines. We got Larry out in Mount Pleasant. How you doing, Larry?
At the end of that Chiefs game with those 13 seconds.
Larry, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Good. Larry.
Yes.
Yeah, you're on. Go ahead. You got 2 seconds.
Last time I checked, I thought the Pirates were part of the National League. I'm getting tired of watching them play in all these American League teams. Save that for the World Series.
I don't have a problem with it, Chris. I kind of like the interleague baseball play. I just hope the Pirates can start playing teams competitively. I don't care who they're facing right now.
Richie, can we stop? You and me, right here. We're friends. We've golfed together. I still owe you dinner because you crushed me on Steelers picks this year. I do owe you a nice meal. We'll get out to the course soon. He waited and he had his TV turned up so that he could complain about interleague baseball, which has been around for, almost 30 years now?
Let's go out to Tim in Cranberry. How you doing, Tim? Tim, you there? Tim.
Yes.
You're on. What's up?
Hey, Richie. What's up, Chris?
Good. What's going on?
Hey, nothing. Just watching a Dallas Stars game tonight. Just wanted to Obviously I think the Penguins are leaps and bounds away from these teams, but wanted to see what your thoughts are about potential moves in the summer, and do you think Dubas is going to be the new GM?
I would like Dubas. Chris, I don't know where you stand on that, and I don't know if these latest allegations are actually going to hurt him of getting this job, but I wouldn't mind it. He did a good job over in Toronto. I mean, he's not out there playing. I know they failed in the postseason, but I don't totally blame a general manager for that.
I think he's going to get the job. It seems like he is. I thought I thought the O'Reilly deal was a good deal for them. The Tavares thing, okay, he didn't draft Austin Matthews, but they had 226 points combined the last 2 seasons. As far as moves, the Penguins have to figure out goaltender, right? And Tristan Jarry, like Bobrovsky getting Florida to the Stanley Cup final is kind of a head scratcher, because then you'd say, well, isn't that reason enough to not give up on Tristan Jarry? But then you take into account how injured Jarry is, and I think you're just between a rock and a hard place there.
All right, we're going to take a break. Maybe we'll come back with a phone call or two. Stay right there.